As you can see, today's trades are mainly focused on a sell opportunity that we gave earlier in the morning at 7:06. The sell price was at 3,322, and the take profit targets are as follows. Right now we hit at least take profit 3, and we are going all the way to take profit number 6 at least. Okay, and how did I come up with this trading analysis? So basically the first thing I follow is the software that I have. So I have a software which in less than a few seconds does conduct a technical analysis on the chart to mark up the most reasonable buy and sell areas. Okay, so here it is. Okay, right now we are on the weekly time frame. As you can see, it marks out an area where we can sell and an area where we could be looking for buys, and the green unfinished rectangles that you see here are actually fair value gaps. All right, which means these are levels where the wicks of the previous candles do not touch each other, so they are fair value gaps, and price actually is predicted to come and touch around these areas before making a move. So right now, let me see why it's not connecting. But right now, if I move to the daily time frame, you will then realize that we have the same information here. So this is how I know that once price stepped into the reddish area, or brownish, it looks more brown than red, we could be looking to sell. As you can see, price touched it here, all right, and then it's immediately started to drop, and we could be looking for take profit targets around the previous low, which is the 366 level, and most likely at the 345. Guys, today we could be looking at this level as a buy target, because this is a very strong area and is an opportune, like right now is an opportune time for us to look for buys around this level. All right, and then the second thing that I've done, basically, so I did I did my trades on the 15-minute charts, right? So the basic thing that I've done was I went on my chart. So let me just go on my trading view. All right, so what I do on the trading view basically is mark out my my daily high and daily low, because we trade within 24 hours. Okay, every candle lasts, every daily candle has a lifespan of 24 hours from the open to the close. As you can see, we had a bullish candle, which means the candle opened somewhere around this level, came down at this level to create a low, and then moved all the way up to create a high, and then closed around this area. So as you can see, this was our previous daily candle. Now this is our current candle, right? This is our current bearish candle for the day. Now what we are expecting is for this bearish candle to either take out the previous daily low or the previous daily high. They serve as our targets. Okay, the technical analysis was actually conducted on the 15 to 30 minutes, because that is where I could most visibly see where price would be going. Okay, so if you look at the 30 minutes, and I just allow me to draw a few lines here. If I place this line around this level, okay, so beginning with the highest point ever recorded, which is the all-time high, you'll then realize, okay, let me just place it here for reference. You will realize that we have the following structure, right? So we have the all-time high as one point of reference, and then this level as the secondary point of reference, and then thirdly this point as reference, and then the fourth point of reference is here. So this area is very important, because what happened was price kept bouncing off of this trend line, and then it made a breakout of the trend line to retest the trend line and shot up yesterday. That's when we got those buys in. And now for today, what is most logical to happen is price is supposed to test one of the important order block levels and then drop all the way down to test the area where price retested yesterday, okay, to mark completion of the what we call discount, and then move all the way up to this level around here. Okay, so this is a very strong level. Let me just put a line here for now. So basically we could say price must come up all the way here. Okay, so it drops down, we get a good price in, and then we buy. You know, some people would complain, but if price should be selling, I mean, why are we selling if price already broke out and it's supposed to move up? Well, it has to sell to give buyers the best entries possible. Okay, you need to get an entry at the best price available. And for me, if I put another trend line from here, this is really important, to here, you will then realize that yesterday's move also came off the trend line. All right, so what I expect is, okay, price to do the same. So it bounced off this line. Okay, let's start it here, and then here, and then here, and then here. Now, depending on, okay, depending on the volume, all right, depending on the volume. So let me just show you guys something. So if I place this here, you will realize that we have a few indications, all right? The volatility, the volume, the RSI, the MFI, the momentum, the buy or sell pressure, and you can see that right now we have sell pressure at 76% and so on. Now, depending on the current volume and volatility in XAUUSD, we could have price, okay, push below our entry level. This is really important, so you have to watch out. So we could have price push below our entry levels, okay, and test the trend line once again before it moves up. This is typical for XAUUSD, okay, because by the time price reaches this level, it could be New York session, right? So all the structures that are being created during the London session, that were created during the Asia session, might be taken out by the New York session open or pre-market open. So, and where would the most optimum area be for price to reach? It would be around this level. So this level would be, what would the price be if I place a line here? So it would be around the $3,280 area. Okay, we could be watching out for that, but the optimum point, okay, according to structure and according to the strategy that we use, the optimum point for entries would be around the 3,298 all the way to 3,290. Price should not go beyond that, and our stop losses are set at 3,287. Okay, price should not go beyond that and then bounce all the way up. If it does extend to this level, all right, if it does extend to this level at the 3,279, then we have to watch out for that, which means you start entering slowly here with small lots, and then you add your big lots at the end. So if I have to place my Fibonacci from the previous low, this was the previous low. I'm not going to consider this one because it was after the breakout, but I'm going to start with the previous low, which was yesterday's, and mark all the way up to yesterday's highest point. We will get our region of interest around the level where I marked for buys at the IPD. All right, the same applies for the short opportunity. So if I place the highest point on the chart with the lowest point created today, okay, this area, this region here, would be our selling area. All right, this would be our selling area, So you have to watch out for that as well. Okay, basically it's supposed to be here, sorry, it's supposed to be at this high. So this would be our selling area, this region. So price could shoot up a bit and then drop all the way to our IPD. This is the markup for today. Do not hesitate to like and subscribe to the channel for more information. Um, Obviously, so that you don't have your charts with a lot of markings, you can just do what I'm doing here. Remove all your drawings and just leave it as clean as possible. Okay, with some lines, it's okay, so that you don't forget what you're going to be doing. And then the next thing you have to do is just watch and wait. Okay, just have to wait, watch what happens. I personally did consider, we sold from here because I personally considered that price already touched the level. It doesn't always step into the exact IPD level and then dropped. Okay, but we could expect a push up once more, maybe until here, this level here, because this is where, let me see. Okay, so maybe until here and then or here. Okay, so somewhere in between these two lines, this is where price will be looking to tap in one more time before dropping all the way down here. All right, so guys, enjoy. This is today's view of gold. Okay, today's view of gold is a short sell until here and then a buy all the way up here. Let me just go back to MetaTrader. So this is MetaTrader 4, and as you can see on MetaTrader 4 we have the same information. This is the software obviously revealing to us the most valid entry points. Okay, and the first entry point on the 15-minute comes at around 3,321 to 3,327. Okay, and this is a fair value gap. If I go on the 1 hour, which is the one that I mostly use, the 1 hour will tell us that the most important region for sell would be around 3,345. But this is after price taps into our 3,301 level all the way to 3,285 level. Okay, so this software will simplify things for you at all times, always. Okay, you don't have to fight against anything, you don't have to trade against the trend. You can basically see that this time around gold is extremely bearish on most time frames, and the structure is bearish as well because this is the highest structure point created, and then it created a bunch of structure levels here indicating that we are still bearish, and we are expecting price to push down from where it is all the way to this level. I'm looking for buys around this level. This would be the most optimum level to buy extremely. All right, and then below that you have a lot of fair value gaps, as you can see, and then another buy region somewhere around this level. So if you are somebody who likes swing trading, this software is optimum for you. You can set and forget trades. You just place them on the charts and let them run. All right. So this is today's markup. I'll try to do this as often as possible so that you guys can see how this thing actually works. So yeah, let's see what happens.